I've been obstacle course racing for about 5 years. I started a little bit before that with a group from my boot camp class at the gym where I taught. We signed up for a local obstacle course race here in Kansas City and did it just for fun. And then a couple years later, I decided to jump into a competitive heat. And from there, I just kind of took it seriously. In 2020, when races shut down and there wasn't really a whole lot to do, I started doing a lot more trail running and just spending more time on the trails, which led me to ultra running. So started doing that. I did my first ultra at the beginning of 2021 and have been kind of competing in both ever since. The most challenging part of training and competing is definitely finding the time to fit it all in. Trying to work a full-time job, have a family, and spend time on relationships, as well as train and get like adequate sleep. So tomorrow we are doing a local 100K here in Kansas City. So I was going to show you what things kind of look like to prep for that. 100K is a good distance, so that's something I would normally have a crew for, but this one is a pretty short looped course, if that makes sense. So you hit several aid stations, like every 3 miles you're at an aid station. So I will see one point every 10 miles where I'll kind of restock nutrition, and nutrition is like my primary thing that I'm focused on. I'll refill at water stations and that kind of thing throughout the rest of the course, but I have these all individually labeled with all of the nutrition that I want and hydration products that I need, so I can just like quickly grab those out. The course is not a lot of elevation. It's should be pretty quick for the most part. It's got some technical sections, but nothing too crazy. It will be hot. I think that's going to be like the biggest challenge of the whole thing, is getting through the heat, because I think the high is 96-ish degrees tomorrow. So that's going to be kind of fun. So I'll be like stuffing ice in every aid station that I can, and trying to use cooling techniques that I know well too. I think the biggest question that I have right now is what shoes to wear. So I'm trying to decide between the light speeds or the Max 2. So we'll see. I might actually start out in the Max 2, and if I feel like I need to, maybe switch to the light speed. Or I'm sorry, start out in the light speed and switch to the Max 2. I haven't really decided yet, so we'll see.
Water and kill it.
Feeling it. Oh, no.
Kill it.
I saw it. What else?
Congratulations!
And we have a terrarium, which probably cannot kill. There's instructions on there. It's really easy, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny, so much for coming out and running. And it'll keep it out of direct sun. It'll perk back up once it's out of. It's been a little hot on it today, so.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please come back again.
What I enjoy most about racing is definitely pushing myself and seeing what I'm capable of doing. What I've thought about recently is that really when racing, we all have tons of things going on in our lives. We have tons of different challenges, and we all have our things that we're dealing with. But when you're racing, it kind of takes all of that away. It really allows you to just focus on the task at hand and really like pushing yourself, especially when it gets really, really tough and challenging. It's like that is the one thing that you are focusing on and pushing towards and pushing through. And it's almost a weird, like peaceful thing. So I really enjoy that about racing.
All right, where are we going?
All right, so right now we are headed to Chicago for the 12-hour toughest mudder. It's the 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. 5-mile course with 20 obstacles. So you do that 5-mile loop as many times as possible in the 12 hours.
Okay, how did you train for this?
For training for this one, it's a lot of running per the usual, but I also added in a little bit more strength work with like some upper body work, things like pull-ups, working on monkey bars, and then a lot of core work and a little bit of plyometrics and some crawling to get in and out of obstacles and under barbed wire and all that stuff.
All right, is there a required gear, and what kind of gear did you bring?
So for gear, I will be running in the Max 2. That should give me the comfort I need to get through the full 12 hours, and also the grip I need to get up and around all the obstacles with all the mud and everything. Additional gear is a headlamp. Essentially, you have to have a headlamp on the entire time because you're in the dark. We'll be in the dark this time for at least 10 and a half hours, I think. So there'll be a little bit of sunlight in the morning, but not much.
What are you most looking forward to with this race up here in Rockford?
With this race, I think I'm most looking forward to all the obstacle practice and just getting through the course and kind of practicing things like gear, nutrition, all of that, and really kind of having fun with a lot of the people that are out on course too.
Any goals for this race?
For goals for this, kind of the usual goal that I have with the Tough Mudder events is to keep moving as fast as possible for as long as possible. So I don't try to make mileage goals necessarily, because you just never know what the course is going to be like or what the obstacles are going to be, or if there are penalties for certain obstacles and how long those are going to take. So I find that making my effort the goal is a little better way of going about things.
All right, and final question. So what gets you excited about coming up here to Rockford and knocking out a 12-hour race with obstacles?
Ooh. What gets me excited about these is a little bit of a hard question, because a lot of times in the moment it's not fun, and I know that it's not going to always be fun in the moment. It gets pretty painful sometimes, but I think that I get excited to just kind of see where I can push my body and what I can do.
All right, let's go. Chicago, here we come.
Woo. I'm just warming up. What?
All right, let's go. It's almost go time. How you feeling? What are you thinking? What's going on?
Ready to run.
What's the weather like?
It's hot.
Humid?
Humid. The sun's going down. I think the biggest mental challenge I've had to overcome through everything is really just self-limiting beliefs. Knowing that I am capable of doing the things that I see other people do. I just question myself a lot, I think, as maybe everyone does from time to time. So it's just hard sometimes to know that I can actually achieve the things that I want to achieve.
There's my wife.
All right, almost here. You're doing awesome.
Go, Jenny!
Followed by Jenny Stipp from Riverside, Missouri, getting a 50K finish.
In 2022, I did my first World's Toughest Mudder, and that one I did finish third place, female overall. So I went into that one really with no expectations. I had no clue what I was getting myself into. I knew that I just wanted to see how well I could do. It was all about just trying to push my body as far as I could for as long as I could. And I feel like I did pretty well there doing that. It got really cold. That was definitely the hardest part of the entire experience. I think it got down to like 33 degrees in 22. So being in and out of water and all that, it was the hardest thing, one of the hardest things I've ever done for sure. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that I was able to kind of jump into that, not knowing what to expect and do as well as I did. In 2023, I finished fifth female. That one was a little bit of a different experience. I knew a lot more going into it, what to expect. And I had made the decision based off of some things that year that I actually wasn't going to do World's Toughest Mudder. I actually planned on doing a 100-mile trail race in Missouri. That happened to be the week before World's Toughest Mudder. So again, I wasn't going into the fall season expecting to do both events. I expected to just do the 100-mile race, but I kind of last minute, or at least I don't know, maybe 4 to 5 weeks before, decided to go ahead and do World's Toughest Mudder as well. So I knew that my body was not going to be prepared or as ready for World's Toughest Mudder as it should have been. So I'm actually kind of happy with the fifth place. I was able to push myself as much as I was able, as much as my body would let me at that point, with having done, I actually didn't even complete the 100-mile race the week before. I only made it about 100K in, but my body was still pretty tired, but I was able to still remain competitive at World's Toughest Mudder, so that felt good. It really was just about making some bad choices, I think, and planning and executing the training for that race. As far as preparation for this year, for 2024 World's Toughest Mudder, I'm really not doing a lot of different training. A little bit heavier training maybe, but nothing drastically different. I think the biggest difference is going to be that I now have a solid 3 to 4 years of ultra running underneath my belt, a lot more experience in some of the longer events, and also just my body's been able to hold up really well over those last 3 years. I've had pretty solid training, nothing that's really like taken me out for a long time or anything like that. So I'm excited to see what this year brings. My strategy going into Worlds this year is always the same as it always is. Like, it's to push my body as far as possible, as fast as possible, for as long as possible. World's Toughest Mudder is a little bit of a different animal when it comes to ultra events, because yes, you can kind of develop strategy throughout, but you don't really know what the course is going to be like, or what penalties will be like, or things like that until you get there, until you experience it. So strategy kind of evolves with it as you run the race. It's hard to say that up front, but always the ultimate goal is to like push myself to the extreme the entire time. Morning, just dropped off my kids at school and arrived at the trailhead. So we are getting ready to go and go on a run, putting on my socks and shoes. Should be a nice run today. It's like 61 degrees outside, so a nice crisp, cool fall morning. I'm in the beginning of my build for World's Toughest Mudder, like the last one before World's Toughest Mudder. So we're a little less than 5 weeks out at this point. So we'll build and then eventually taper. So lots of miles. That means that I'll be running probably somewhere close to like 80-90 miles a week for the next like 2 weeks ish, and then we'll taper back from there. So should be a great run. All right, so we are gonna go over packing and gear and everything for World's Toughest Mudder. I am the type of person that likes to visually see everything laid out before I actually put it in the bag, so that's what I've done here today. We'll start with nutrition. I primarily like liquid gels. This is what I will use hopefully the majority of the time. I've got a lot of them. These are what we call these big ass gels. They're 90 carb gels that I really like. The flavor is great. I haven't ever gotten sick of them in events yet. As the night progresses on, I might switch on to some Whole Foods, things like Uncrustables, and I've tried Pop-Tarts in the past, and maybe like candies and things like that we will grab at the store when we get in town. All right, next up, we're gonna talk about gear. World's Toughest Mudder is a little bit different than any other event that you'll typically do, because a lot of times it can get cold in the middle of the night and you're in and out of water so much that you need wetsuits. I don't think that we will need it this year, because it's supposed to be 85 degrees as a high. I think 70-ish is the low as of right now that we're talking. But we are gonna bring it just in case, because you always wanna have everything just in case you might need it. So wetsuit top, wetsuit bottom. I do have a windbreaker. A windbreaker is the one thing that I think I might actually need. That's great in the middle of the night when it's not super cold and you don't need a wetsuit, but it's a little bit chilly, and they'll just kind of give you a little layer of warmth. Leg mitts are something you're always going to bring too. They're in a bag here, but they're essentially just neoprene mittens that go over your hands that you could open up to do obstacles and then flip it back over to keep your hands warm. Those are great. Headlamps. I've got one basic headlamp, primary headlamp that I really like, that gives off bright light, and then I've got 2 backups. Those will be switched out periodically as the battery starts to die and gets low in the middle of the night. As far as clothing and additional gear, we've got my gear, pants and shorts. Haven't quite decided on which I'll be wearing there. Again, it's going to be kind of warm, so we'll see. I like to do pants just as a layer of protection, because you're crawling around things on gravel and stuff. It just kind of feels a little better on the knees after 24 hours of crawling through that stuff, to have a layer of protection there. One new thing I'm trying this year is gaiters, because we are in Florida with some sand and things. I'm going to try using gaiters that will go over the socks and over my VJ Max 2s. These are the most comfortable shoes that I think are going to work best for this event. Incredible grip and comfort, so they will take me through the full 24 hours.
So
should be fun. What are your thoughts on the this year? The hottest girl stuff to date. Okay. Great. Yeah. And any goals? What do you have for goals?
I have set all maybe like change myself.
Fair.
I think it's a place to win, but then I do have some other goals that are like secondary.
Okay, awesome. And how's your year been like leading up to this? Like, what other events have you been doing there?
Really good. I think I've done some hot races, which I think has been good in preparation for this for sure. 100K that was like I think outside at some point. So yeah, and this is a little bit better, right? Because we have water. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at that. Awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing you out on the course and cheering for you. And good luck.
He don't just talk the talk, he runs the walk. He'll be out there with you too. What you people? I'll end with this. After I'm done, guys, we're gonna rise. 10 seconds of silence for all of our brothers and sisters that have fallen in service for our country, for our world, followed by our own copper with a very special song, and we'll end that with 3 hurrahs. But I'll end with this. I've said it all year long. Please, shut up. Consider this a challenge. The person next to you does want to hear this. I've said it all year long. I consider every one of you here today, even my pit crew, anyone in here sight, leaders in this world, in this crazy. You may not feel it, but by the way you live, you inspire the hell out of someone. Someone. Just by the way you live. Talk don't do it, man. It's like I said in an interview. They said, Sean, how best do you inspire people? And I thought of y'all and I said, show them. Show them. You are my show them people. And tonight, y'all, when you're out there and you're hurting and you feel like you got no more, you remember what we say at World Toughest Mudder. You don't finish at the finish line. You finish out there somewhere and you make it to the finish line. Brothers, how you feeling me?
do.
I can do the sand slope.
Yeah, because save them legs.
It's hard.
Because everybody else is using their legs. That is. Got this! Kill it! Kill it! Welcome back, Danny.
Looking good.
Yes, sorry.
Welcome back, welcome back. Thank you. Form a group, form a line.
It's easier the closer together you guys stay.
Was that specifically for write-ups?
All right, do you want to start moving too? Because I can't really move.
Good job.
this
You
fast.
stand.
Move.
Work together, form a chain.
I can't move.
This obstacle is mandatory, but as you drive, it's okay.
Jenny, you're 3 minutes in the lead.
Okay. She's 3 minutes in the lead?
No, you are.
I think she passed me.
As of the last timing, Matt, you were in the lead,
I'm
so.
pretty sure she passed me.
All right, well, off
But
you go.
That's okay. Gloves on this.
You never tried gloves?
We'll see.
First time for everything.
It's all right, buddy.
Looking good. Yes, there you go.
You got the rope, yeah. Come on, come on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on, let's go. Hold on. You can get your feet back on that knot. Yes, you can. Yeah, don't let go. You hold on. Get her on the wrist. We'll do a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, shoot. You gotta get your feet on that knot, dude. Stand up.
Okay.
So were you talking with that guy for a little bit? Oh, yeah.
24 minutes long. Of the Bud SAT.
Are you using your bands or are you keeping them for now?
Am I using what?
Your bands.
No, I use it on Arctic both times.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. It's just cold.
That's so, yeah, that makes sense. You just dive right in. It's very impressive.
Hopefully I can get back to that when the sun comes up. We'll see. I forgot water last time.
I know you did.
Thank you.
I'll walk with you.
My watch. It's so random. Thank you. My goodness.
You want Tums or no?
Yes.
Can you overdose on Tums? Asking for a friend.
Here, why don't you take some of this soda? Want a pack, gel, and all?
Thank you.
I'm gonna bring one.
I know, I'm sorry I didn't catch you earlier in the day. As in yesterday. You got it. Yeah. That's all right. You got it. Just get that swing. Woo! Yes!
It was ugly, but we did it.
That was beautiful. Are you kidding?
Okay.
What was that? I didn't catch that.
Shoulder up. Let's go.
Okay, well now I feel bad making you do that. Woo, Jenny! Beast!
Thank you.
There she goes, crossing the finish line, holding the American flag, currently running in second place. Come on, Butter Nation, make some noise for Jenny. 90 miles for Jenny, well done. Congratulations, guys!
World's Toughest Mudder 2024 was a great experience. I went in hoping to take the overall female win, and I finished second place female with 90 miles. So I'm pretty proud of that effort. It was a little bit different race experience this time compared to previous years in that it was hot and humid the entire time. And the previous years we've had to deal with wetsuits and freezing cold temperatures, but this time it was a different set of challenges with the heat and the humidity. Looking back, like that's one of the biggest things that I would change if I could go back and do it again, is just changing up my nutrition strategy because of that heat and humidity. I think it played a big role in kind of just affecting my performance. Had a ton of fun out there though, had great support out on course and in my pit with my husband and my friend Jamie, helping me at every single pit stop with everything that I could possibly need. And then we had David out on the wall and Joe at the wall, and the Everest Angels, just everyone out there on course helping and lending hands, and the other competitors made it a lot of fun. So it was a really, really good experience. The course itself was not terrible, but it was a little bit uneven. So there were a lot of injuries, like people rolling their ankles, things like that. There was a nice long section of sand that was pretty brutal to get through. So overall, like the 24 hours was just kind of a brutal but steady grind. There wasn't like one thing that specifically stuck out as like the hardest thing as far as the race goes. So overall, I just had a lot of fun, and I'm excited to get back out there and do it again.